Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we're going to pair the Apple Pencil to the iPad Pro 10.5. Let's check it out. So now the first thing we're going to do is unbox the Apple Pencil. So open it up, put that over to the side, and then see what we have here. So it looks like we have a tip, we have a cover, and this is actually not a cover. This is almost like an extender. So this you connect to the bottom of the pen, and then here you put your charging cable into it so that you can charge the pen independent of the actual iPad itself. And then you have some miscellaneous instructions. So push that over to the side. Here now what we have is the pencil. Now the pencil does require to get charged. It doesn't have replaceable batteries. Everything is all included internally. But you do need in this area here to connect it to your iPad or charge it as we saw through that charging mechanism. The cover itself has like a little magnetic I would say mechanism here that allows it to kind of lock into place, and then you do get some audio feedback. You get a click sound, but it's one of those things that you get a very satisfying noise when it actually connects. Writing tip right here. So that's pretty much it to it. Unlike some of the other things, like if you're coming from an Android ecosystem or even a Windows or some other Wacom tablet, you have some buttons here. There are no buttons. There's nothing that you click. There's nothing extra on it. Everything is smooth. You just have the tip. All right. So now before pairing it to your tablet, what you're going to need to make sure is that Bluetooth is enabled. So if you just swipe up, you notice I have Bluetooth already enabled. We're going to take the cap, remove it, and we're going to insert it here at the bottom. All right. Now that we've done that, you get a message here immediately says, would you like to pair? We say pair. And pretty much that's it. So now that we've gone through that process, how do you know if the pairing worked? Well, it's pretty simple. If you take your pencil and swipe it like this, you definitely know that you have some activity going there. We'll also go ahead and go into an app, and we'll go ahead and check and see how it works. Now, another way to confirm that your pencil is connected is by going into Bluetooth features and then seeing how the Apple Pencil comes up here, and it says that it's connected. So now let's look at an application that I find that's one of my favorite apps when it comes to taking notes. Now you can use the pencil for painting, for drawing. I use it for business, and one of the business apps that I prefer to use with my iPad Pro, and for that matter all my devices, is an application that transcends operating systems. In other words, that no matter which operating system I'm in, and I'm using, I'm going to be able to get the same notes. So this is one note from Microsoft, and I have taken 3 sets of notes here that I just wanted to show you. So each one of these, the first one here was taken with the pencil. I then went to my Samsung Tab S3, opened up this same note, and then what I did is I wrote this note using their stylus, so you can see the differences in approach. And then what I did is I went into my Surface Pro 4, and then I wrote this note. So this was written on a Surface Pro 4, just to see the difference in the experience when it came to handwriting. The point and the reason why I wanted to share this as we look at the Apple Pencil is the fact that the reality is in life that we don't always have the same exact ecosystem or software or hardware across our business life and our personal life. And what I like about OneNote, especially if you have the Office 365 subscription, is that it synchronizes all your content. So no matter what you write where, it's going to synchronize. So how well does the pencil work? So far, one of the things that I'll notice and would be really happy to get some feedback from those of you who may have the pencil is I find that the pencil writes well, but I have an experience of writing on glass. So and you may say, well, there's nothing wrong with that because it's really nice and smooth, but there is a difference in your experience. So I'm just going to go ahead and write here, write on glass. Now, my penmanship is not the best penmanship in the world, but it doesn't have the drag, and I guess we're all used to having some type of resistance when you write. So you may feel like when you write with a pen on a piece of paper, you have some resistance, so it doesn't feel that smooth. And it does change the way you write, and it changes your writing style somewhat when you are just writing on something that is super smooth. So I find that that's something that is a little bit bothersome. Some of the other styluses that I've looked at don't have that problem. Let me show you a couple of the other ones that I use. So here I have a Samsung stylus, and this is comes with their Professional as well as their Tab S3. And even though the tip looks a little different, let's put them side by side. This one is much larger, and it's actually larger than any kind of pencil or pen that I have for that matter. So it's very large. The one thing that I find is that I really like the tip. Even though this tip is not as pronounced as this one is, I find that this one gives me a good writing experience. I find that it's smoother to write, and even though I'm writing on glass, I feel that this one gives me the sense of resistance as I'm writing. So this is the one that I use for Samsung, and that's the note that I took on top. Now the other one that I have here, and this is from the Surface Pro, represents more the traditional weight and size of a pencil or pen. This one writes really well, and I find it's a little bit lighter than the Apple Pencil. But one of the things I like about this one is the fact that it has an eraser, and literally this does work as an eraser. So when I go on my Surface, I'm able to erase this way. I'm not able to do that with the Apple Pencil. Now the Apple Pencil does have some cool tech that once you start going into drawing where it's aware of the angles, so if you tilt this way, if you tilt that way, it's going to be able to do that. Some of these other ones don't do it. A lot of these just focus on pressure sensitivity. So this is probably going to give you some more interesting functionality for calligraphy and for some creative things. But if it comes to practical notes, this is what I'm looking at, is how they practically work on a note program like this. So all in all, if you're looking for a writing experience and you have the iPad Pro, I would say that this is significantly better than having one of those rubber tip styluses that you buy that's just like rubber writing on glass. This gives you a better experience, but I would say it's not the best writing experience in the market. So this concludes my install or setup of the Apple Pencil for the iPad 10.5, the Pro version. You saw it's really simple to do, very easy to set up, and I gave you kind of what my writing experience was as you compare it to other devices. So if you have any comments or questions or would like to share your experience with the Apple Pencil, leave it in the comment area below. And as always, don't forget to share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.